And you see with the hair, since it's coming to a point here, I do all of these sort of this way, and then I come the opposite way and sort of close that off. Alright, so now I'm going to do a layer above that. And I'm going to use black, because I always do the eyes with black. Let me make it a little thicker. I don't focus on the actual eye ball too much. I just focus on the elements around it, like this you know, like this eyelash area, and this line underneath. Not too worried about the rest of it. I'll make a really faint line just so we know where we are. Maybe I'll give them those fun, like, those black little areas that like some cats and stuff have. Just because I can. Alright, we got a big nose here. So this we want to definitely be kind of fluid. Normally I would just, you know, I'm always twisting my canvas to kind of figure out the best way to there we go, that's not too bad. That nice thick bottom lip. Should be able to color this in, yeah. Alright, the teeth and stuff I usually do at a later time. Alright, so let's finish out. Make this one black too. And then let's go back to the bottom line and finish out this ear. Alright, so we're looking pretty good. Okay. I think I got all the... basically all the elements. Alright, so we have this, we have the black, and then we have the brown, and I'm just going to merge them because I don't need, I just did the black over it so they don't run into each other. Alright, so actually I'm going to make the black on his here, I'm going to make this a little bit darker. Okay, so this is what it looks like with just the lines. So the next thing I do is I make a new layer underneath the line layer, and I'll call it color. And I use this orange color. And you can use whatever brush to fill it in, but basically I just take that layer under the lines and I just fill whatever I'm going to be coloring the main color of his face. I'm not too worried about it getting it perfect, but I'm doing a line around his mouth. Even though the line is underneath this black line, I still, when I fill it, I want to make sure that it doesn't fill where his mouth is. Same thing with the nose. As you can see with the ears, I'm just going to color in this like fur part, but I'm going to leave this ear because that's going to be a different color. That's going to be like whatever the color his face is, and then maybe a little bit of pink as well. Obviously I could be a bit neater, but in the interest of your time, we'll just go quickly. Because I know you don't want to hear me yapping forever. I definitely don't want to hear that. Plus it's almost dinner time. And I'm hungry. I've only had a protein shake today because I'm on a diet. Because the first part of COVID I was definitely overeating. Alright, so then you fill, and now he's orange. That's all well and dandy. I'm going to go underneath that layer and make a new layer. I'm going to choose white, and I'm going to choose my graffiti brush. You can download all the brushes I use in the description on YouTube, but this brush is just a regular brush. It's just, I just have it so I can make it go really big if I need, but it's just a regular brush, nothing too crazy. You can use any brush you can use any stock brush. My brushes are free too. I'm not trying to charge for my tweaked brushes. So I just do the white for the eyes, and then for the nose I do a, oops, what did I do? Oh, wrong layer. See, that's why I'm glad that I locked the sketch layer, because I would have drawn on it and been upset. Okay, so for the nose we'll do this gray, and then we'll do a lighter gray for the top part. Alright, so what color do we want his skin? So there's two ways to do it. I can just do hue saturation, and I make sure I'm on the right layer. So I do hue saturation, and then I could go like this, and I can make them whatever color I want. What color do we want them? Something like this, maybe? I don't know, this is not my strong suit, figuring out colors, because they're all like, they all have their own nice little. Alright, so I'm thinking maybe like a, I think something like that looks pretty good, right? Okay, we'll do this color. Alright. Although I feel like I kind of want them brown. I feel like I want them brown. Okay, this color we'll have to do, because now I'm just wasting everybody's time. Okay. So I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna do a, okay, so that's his skin color. I'm going to color in behind his ears. That skin color, and I did it on the layer with the eyes and the nose, so it's behind the rest of his skin. And then I'm going to take this pink color and I'm just going to lower the opacity, and I'm going to alpha lock what I just made, so this will color in only his, make it a little bit brighter. I accidentally did the bottom part of his ear on that layer, but that's okay. So that way it'd only color that part of his ears. Can probably make it a little brighter. Alright, that's pretty good. I'm gonna make another layer. I'll just use the orange again, and I'm gonna color in his hat. What did I do? Oh, I should have. I had the opacity down, so. Alright, so now his hat has some color. Let me clean this up because it looks terrible. And the hat, let's go with a. We'll go with like a straw type color. And then we'll alpha lock that. And then we'll make maybe a slight greenish for this little line here. And then we'll, oops, I didn't mean to turn the layer off. Just meant to un-alpha lock it. And then we'll color in his little flower things blue. Okay. So for his mouth, I use these colors all the time for mouth, like gums, tongue, and what do I use this for? I can't remember. Sometimes I use that as the tongue, depending on the color of the character. But I use the darkest one for like the mouth and the gums. And then right on top of that, I'll do the tongue color. So if, let's see if the tongue is like something like that. And then I'll just use white and go on top of both of those. And make his little teethies. That's a quick and easy way to do it. I don't like making lines for the teeth and things like that. I just think they look better if they're just white. Alright, so I'm going to add another layer above the eye and the nose and like the ear bits. So I'm going to add another layer. So this will be in front of this white. And what color do we want his eyes to be? We'll make it the same color as this. I don't want to add too many more colors. Alright, so I'm going to duplicate that circle so it's the same size. Let me get this off magnetic. So basically what I'm trying to do here is match that white space, because his eyes can start looking really kooky if that white space isn't matched. It doesn't always have to be perfect. Like for example, if one is like looking this way, then the other one can be like, you know, sort of like pushed over a little bit, and it doesn't look terrible. his eyes bigger? Can't tell. I can't tell if we want his eyes bigger or not. Let's see what it looks like if he has two really big eyes. Are those too big? They're fine. Okay, we're gonna leave them. They're fine. And how about let's do this. Just for the fun of it, I'm gonna make his eyes, instead of white, I'm gonna make them yellow. No, I like them white better. You guys are really along with me on this ride, aren't you? You know, I feel like I have to see everything through. Do we like the green, or do we want to change his eye colors? I think I like the green. Okay, so one thing I always do for eyes, sometimes I use black for the pupil. Iris, pupil? No, pupil. A lot of times I'll just go darker with whatever the main color of the eye is, and I'll just do that. Let me use the regular circle. That's not bad. Alright, so I'm just going to merge all these. And I'm going to I feel like I might want them bigger. I feel like I might want them bigger. And I feel like I might want his eyes smaller. I think that looks better. Alright, so I'm going to merge these. I'm going to make another layer on top, and then we're going to go, let's see what it's like when the pupils are black. I think I like that a little better. Okay, so we'll keep it like that. So I'm going to go back to the green, and I'm going to, I'll take the same brush, I'll lower the opacity, and I will alpha lock this layer. Now we're getting deep into it. And I make it's a little too light, and I make a, I always do this like shadow, just so it looks like there's some light coming in and there's like a lip there. I just like the way it looks. It's not really realistic, but it doesn't matter because I can do what I want. That's the great thing about it. I can do what I want. So I'm just going to take an airbrush and just make it a little bit lighter behind his iris. I really hope that's called an iris. Pupil. Pupil. So I'll just make it a little bit lighter. Almost imperceptible, but I'm just so used to doing all these little details that I'm just going to do them here. So, alright. And at this point in time also you can still change the eye color if you wanted. So the next thing I'll do is I'll go to the layer that has the pupils. I'll make a layer above that, black. Use my graffiti brush again and lower the opacity so it's something like that. And I'm actually going to select these whites of the eyes. I selected that layer. So then I can just go to the new layer, blank layer, and I can do a black. And I can do that. So that just makes a shadow. And if it needs to be darker, I can just duplicate that, and I can kind of change the opacity of it. I think that looks good. Alright, so on that same layer I'm going to use white, graffiti brush. Opacity is at around 30%. That looks pretty good. And I'm going to do one of my little jelly beans. And then I'm going to raise the opacity up. And I'm going to do something like that. That just gives it that, you know, that cool kind of look. Alright, so let's say we want to, you know, if he has like spots or something like that. We'll go with a dark gray. And we'll select the orange that's like his face. Make another layer above that. And now I can sort of like, now you can just kind of add in like fun little markings that like only he would have. You know, you can kind of just have fun with it. Normally I would make those black, but I probably will make them black. Let me erase that. Let's say we want to give him some spots here. Maybe some spots on his give him this. We'll make that black too, actually. I'm just gonna make that. I'm gonna make that black, but I'm gonna make that on the line layer. And I'm gonna use Sketch Master, and I'll do that on the line layer. Give him that little black piece there. All right. So say we want to mess with his color in his face. Alpha lock the orange, and I'm gonna do like a lighter orange. So I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to, whoops. I'm going to color in all of this, that color. Whoops, not that. Make this brush really big. That's why I tweak this brush, so I can make it really big, like that. And since I did it on the same layer, if I do want to adjust it, I have to, there we go. Alright, I actually don't like, I'm not really crazy about that color, so maybe we'll do do I want to do white, maybe? I'm not sure what white will look like. Actually, let me save myself the trouble. I'm going to go back and erase it all. Select. And make a new layer above that. And then I'm going to use a crazy color, just so I can see it, like dark green. Let's see if this fills. Yep, there you go. So I did it on a different layer, so that's why it's filling now. But I do it that way so I can see what my options are. I think that looks kind of nice, actually. It's sort of like a grayish sort of color. I kind of like that. And then we'll give him some, I'm going to alpha lock this. I like that. And we'll use the airbrush, and we'll kind of give him a little bit of a dark. Let me go black. little bit of a darkness there. A lot of animals have that. Okay, let's see what else we're gonna do. Also, I'm gonna go on the nose layer. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do it on this layer. So that layer is alpha locked. So I'm gonna take black, lower the opacity. I'm just gonna color in these, because they wouldn't be gray. That's like the inside of his nose. So those would be somewhat dark. And if we're gonna go crazy, then I'll do black. But there we go. Something like that. Alright, so another thing that I didn't do before is I'm going to go back to the line layer. I'll make this brush big, and I'll give him some nice little eyebrow type lines. Doesn't look too bad. And these are usually white, so I'm going to go back to his orange skin. I'm just going to use this yellow, and I'll use the airbrush, because I don't want to introduce a ton of colors, because that can kind of like not look good when you have like a ton of different colors. So I'm just going to try to keep the colors I have here. All right, well, let's give him some more spots. I really like doing spots on these guys. I'm going to use my Sketchmaster 2 brush. Make it really big. And then I'm going to go here, and then I'm just going to give him some spots like this. Just because I like spots. Okay. Now I'm going to take white. I'm going to go to his nose, and I'm going to use my Sketchmaster brush, and I'm just going to put a nice little glare there. I can lower the opacity, and let's see, where would it, if the light is hitting there, it might hit a little bit there too, maybe. Probably not, but that's okay in the interest of time. Okay, so I'll do some quick shading. So let's say the light's coming down from above. This area would have to be shaded, so I'm going to pick that orange color. Go a little bit of a darker hue with it. And I'm going to go back to that orange layer. And I'll just do it right on that layer. Okay, so I'll go here. It's actually a little bit darker than I wanted it to be. It's actually a lot darker than I want it to be. Let me select that again. That's better. So there we go. I'm leaving a little bit right above his eyes, the same color, because that's his eyes kind of popping out from his head, so that sounded weird, you know what I mean. And I'll do the opposite for darker here, because this is where light would be hitting. Be hitting that part. Alright. Same goes for underneath his hat. I'm going to make this a little darker. I'm going to alpha lock the layer that his hat is on, and then I'm just going to, actually maybe I won't darken up the whole thing, I'll just make that dark under there. And if you really want to do like rudimentary shading, you can just take like once you've done all this, Usually I would double this group so I have all this saved, but I'm just going to merge it all. And then I'm going to select it. I'm going to make a layer above it. I'm going to lower that layer's opacity to about 20%, and then I'm going to take, I usually take like a dark green. I'm not sure why. Any brush, I'll use my graffiti brush. And then you have something like that. So I can make it a little darker even. And I'll use a darker green. Alright, so this whole face is selected on a new layer. So then I can just sort of add shadow to the bits that are furthest away, which would include like under his lip, under his nose. This area might have, oops. There's the only thing you have to be careful, since I merged them all together, I don't have the separation, but that's okay. We'll just have to use skill. You can even make one like in his mouth. That would be like the shadow from the outside of his mouth going over his little tongue, if you really want to get into it. You can make this shadow darker if that looks right, which I don't think it does. And then since you have his hat here, that means that this would kind of be in shadow too, since he's wearing his hat. So I'll sort of make a shadow there. We'll do the bottom part of his ears. And one thing that's important about shadow is like the color of the shadow. That could really like make it or break it. You can choose if you want a warmer shadow, make sure you can see it. If you want a warmer shadow or a more yellow shadow or bluer shadow. I kind of like that. Yeah, is there anything else I want to do to this little guy? The only other thing that's bugging me is this black line for his nose is very it's very prominent. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll literally just take, you know, one of the regular paint brushes, and I'll just, oh, that didn't work. I think it's, I'll make a new layer above the art layer. And sometimes you just have to like thin out these lines so they're not so thick. Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's pretty much that's our guy. Hopefully you guys got something out of it. And oh, also another thing, before we leave, you can always choose like liquify. Like sometimes I do liquify. Let me merge everything. Sometimes I do liquify and I'll just make adjustments. If you feel like something is off, like there's a lot of things that I can see that are off. Sorry, I'm clicking really quickly because, let me turn the alpha, because sometimes I forget that I'm doing a tutorial and I just start going at like my normal pace, which is very fast. Like it always looked like his eyes are kind of like out of alignment, so I just like adjust until it looks right. Okay, yeah, like to me that looks a lot better, I think. Hard to tell. like the way that looks. Oh, let me just... There we go. There we are. Okay. I'm happy with that. Done. But I am curious if we were to just... I know, I'm sorry. It's so hard. Like, it's so hard not to just, like, play and, like, have fun with these. Like, don't you wonder what it would look like if, whoops, if this was small? Look at that. Now I'm just going to go behind it, and I'm just going to just do a rudimentary going to match up these colors. And that's what it looks like if it was like small, like it's, you know, like there's just so many possibilities. I love it. But for now, we're going to keep him with a big nose and a big mouth, and we're going to call it a day. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks for all the support. It's a weird character, right? Big nose, weird. I didn't really want to put too much thought into it because I could literally just sketch and doodle forever and ever and ever. So I hope you guys got some tips out of that. If so, give me a like. I'll appreciate it. And follow me on Instagram, subscribe on YouTube, keep drawing, and I'll catch you in the next video.